Welcome back, comic folks! Today we explore one of the epic comics known for being created by just one person for the longest period. That creator is none other than Erik Larsen. Erik made two comics, the most successful of which is Savage Dragon. Savage Dragon has a unique character development, not just for the main protagonist but also for all his villains and side characters too. The character of Savage Dragon was originally a villain, Emperor Kur, who supposedly believed in destruction and entered Earth with the belief that dragons were super species. After his courtmen Raiko and Kurt learned of his intentions, they left him on Earth without memory. This character arc and anti-hero protagonist in a comic can only be developed by Erik Larsen. In this video we will explore the origins of different antagonists in Savage Dragon and of course their defeat by Dragon. Now before we go into our video we have a small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to the channel. It's a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you very much. Now let's begin. Overlord. Overlord, also known as Antonio Seghetti, was one of Dragon's most taxing rivals. He wasn't just another villain with superhuman abilities, but grew from no one to a rival with an empire called the Vicious Circle. Created by Erik Larsen again, Overlord had crazy powers, from blasts of energy to turning people into ashes to having zero tolerance for incompetency. Overlord challenged his opponents like no other. However, only a little is known about his history by us, but don't worry, we got your back. Imagine an 8-year-old boy walking down an alley with his sister on their way to their safe place. The boy tells his sister to walk faster as he notices a homeless man following them, but their tiny legs are not fast enough. The boy is thrown away and in front of him, his sister is raped. Driven by rage, he puts up a fight and somehow kills the rapist while he's in the act. This boy is none other than Antonio. Instead of following the noble path of justice, he goes against it. His belief and theory led him to join the criminal underworld and involve himself in thuggery and other illegal activities, including rape itself. Around the early 90s, the world saw a rise in superhuman abilities. This was a threat to Antonio's illicit operations. To protect himself from this, he turned to his right-hand man, Sebastian Khan, a cybernetic genius, and with his help they created the Overlord battlesuit, equipped with superhuman abilities. Using the persona of Overlord, Antonio recruited superhuman thugs and created the Vicious Circle as his empire, cutting ties with the previous mafia. Overlord gained powers over time and declared Chicago his turf, which law enforcement could not ignore. This is when we see the first face-off between Savage Dragon and Overlord. Dragon began to separate Overlord's superhuman empire piece by piece. In the meantime, Sebastian Khan, Antonio's right-hand man, decides to rebel against him by taking on a new guise called Cyberface. Cyberface, with a force that he had named Annihilators, rebelled against Overlord and joined the Vicious Circle seeking his power. Still, this fight ended with the Annihilators in jail, courtesy of Savage Dragon. Paranoid by Cyberface's arrest and his plan to testify against Overlord, Overlord sends multiple assassins in desperation. Cyberface is poisoned in prison, but he comes back to life artificially. Overlord eventually meets his end in the hands of Savage Dragon in an intense face-off. However, this is not the last we see of the Overlord. Even after his death, Overlord's legacy is continued by others using his battlesuit. We have Brainy Ape and Victor Nixon. Nixon didn't use the Overlord tag purposefully. He used the tag once and couldn't help but to get back to it. The strange fact is that Nixon didn't remember what happened after he wore the suit, except for the urge to wear it again. This is because Antonio had already installed his memories and mind matter inside the Overlord suit, which trapped Nixon inside. Nixon committed many terrible acts as Overlord, despite his will, including the killing of Dragon's wife, who was later revived. Savage Dragon resolved the conflict after a critical confrontation with Nixon, which led to Dragon's victory. After this, Dragon made sure to destroy that suit so it could never be worn again. Damien Darklord. During the Mars Attacks event, Liberty, Super Patriot's daughter, was kidnapped and experimented on by Martians. Amidst these, she conceived a child and refused to let go of a living being, giving birth to Damien Armstrong, the original Dark Lord. Damien is a Martian-human hybrid with Martian intelligence who was nurtured by the Covenant of the Sword and became their commander at birth. He began time traveling and made excessive visits to the past, growing up in a past timeline before his eventual birth. This this way he gave birth to another brainchild, Damien Darklord. Damien Armstrong attempted to exchange Earth with his dying world in the Darklord universe, but was stopped by Savage Dragon and SOS, or the Special Operations Strike Force. In an attempt to escape, Darklord kills Savage Dragon's ex-lover Rapture. On losing a former lover, Savage Dragon kills Darklord with a newfound rage. Following his death, a parallel Earth appeared, free of Damien's problems, but confronting different threats, especially that of the Covenant Sword. They started attacking Dragon, specifically by switching imposters with the real people in his life. Rapture's son, Malcolm, is also a victim of this situation. Dragon and the Mighty Man attacked the Covenant of Swords, only to face Damien Armstrong, who confessed that he was the original Dark Lord who masked as other Dark Lords at different periods and realities. He created an army and villains to create a negabomb. He also detonates the bomb at this point, taking most of the superpowers from the beings present. A few survivors help Dragon and eventually kill both Damien Armstrong and Damien Darklord. Telepathy and optic blasts are among Damien's most alluring abilities. Damien can also time travel at will and superhuman strength, a gift from his grandfather Super Patriot. Since Damien Armstrong successfully brought a different side out of Savage Dragon by killing Rapture, he deserves the second spot. Thor. The next villain to make it to our list would be Thor. This god of thunder is portrayed uniquely through the Savage Dragon comic issue 45 back in 1993. As Savage Dragon, Jennifer and Debbie are returning to Earth after a mission, the Martian saucer drops them into a different dimension. The trio is pissed to drop into another place after 4 months of travelling. However, since the planet is habitable, they explore, finding a way to return to Earth. However, Thor makes his entrance, and he's interested in Jennifer, a maiden from Earth who claims to be his own. Dragon puts up a fight, but he's no match for Thor. Thor is a god, after all. To Dragon's relief, Hercules joins the battle and delays the inevitable. Either way, Thor always gets what he wants, which is Jennifer in this case. Thor fights Dragon again, and in the meantime Hercules and Jennifer also gear up. As things go south for them, thankfully, All God, as the name suggests, a representation of all elder gods, stops the fight, reviving the dead Debbie but keeping her with them. The next appearance we see of Thor is him coming to Earth with the help of Mr. Glum from Dimension X. We will get to see Mr. Glum soon in this series. Thor and Savage Dragon have an intense fight that ends with Thor's disappearance, or demise. The comics leave it with a severely injured Dragon lying beneath the fallen buildings unconscious. Thor challenged Dragon severely, making him among the top 3 in our list. Brainy Ape. The scavenger's history of Adolf Hitler is well known, but the origins of Brainy Ape took a different course after the world assumed Hitler committed suicide in 1945. In truth, a double was sacrificed, allowing Hitler to flee and rethink his strategy. He was operating secretly in Romania, laying the groundwork for a new Nazi party. US government operatives headed by Hellboy destroyed Hitler's body, but apparently his brain survived, upgraded with telepathy, telekinesis and microscopic limbs. Brainy Ape, placed in a protective dome above an ape's body, emerged in 1987 as a member of Chicago's Vicious Circle, challenging its leaders and Savage Dragon. During Cyberface's invasion of Earth, Brainy Ape escapes to Australia to become its Prime Minister, imposing stringent anti-technology laws. He governed alongside Dr. Verlag until Dragon intervened, ending his reign. Brainy Ape was imprisoned aboard a flying saucer and allowed to die before being resurrected by Baron Blitzkrieg. Baron Blitzkrieg, as we know, is a Nazi war criminal from the Second World War who has survived to the present day through numerous ways, including technological advancements and experimental operations. Mr. Glum later persuades him to open a portal, resulting in a confrontation with Dragon, Madman and others. Despite his fatal aim, Solar Man's heat vision ended Brainy Ape's reign of terror, making him the latest victim of the superhero's battle with crime. Cyberface. Cyberface, as we already know, was known as Sebastian Khan, who was second in command of Antonio Seghetti, and was converted into the fearsome Cyberface within the Image universe. His voyage included the creation of the Overlord armor, encounters with law police and adversaries, and the experience of resurrection through Project Born Again. Cyberface's dominion grew in the savage world when he commanded the Annihilators and defeated the Vicious Circle. Cyberface's abilities revolve around technopathy, allowing him to manage vast amounts of technology technology seamlessly. He also has superhuman strength and invulnerability. His unusual appearance reflects his techno-organic origins, which are distinguished by metallic chips embedded throughout his body. One of Cyberface's significant encounters was with the bold Savage Dragon. The conflict between the two culminated in a final fight in which Dragon, aided by a resistance movement, attempted to oust Cyberface from his position of authority. The conflict demonstrated Cyberface's fearsome talents and Dragon's drive to dethrone him. In the end, Dragon could turn off Cyberface's powers, imprisoning him for future usage. This interaction depicts the continuing conflict between heroes and villains in the Image Universe's rich and dynamic world. The Scourge. The Scourge was formerly a Canadian businessman named Crawfish Ketlin, who was rudely thrown off the company he founded and gave life to 25 years before. Enraged by this, Crawfish began conducting experiments on himself, creating a suit for revenge against the world. Emerging as the Scourge, a supervillain bent on world dominance, he initially appears in Savage Dragon issue 237, announcing his existence and proving himself to be a terrible villain by destroying his former business. He kills Angel in a fight with Savage Dragon, which leads to Savage Dragon defeating him in rage. He would eventually confront Malcolm and Angel in later issues 238, 239 and 240 and beat them, allowing him to take over the Toronto underworld. Malcolm and his allies can stop him, and Scourge later extracts revenge on Malcolm by reappearing in issue 246 to take revenge on Malcolm, but is actually killed by him. Scourge brings moral ambiguity and the villain inside us all through his unique characteristics. Mako. Mako, formerly known as Lou Drum, became a fearsome foe following a life-changing event involving a shark mauling. Mako developed incredible strength, durability and a shark-like appearance who could punch through concrete, throw vehicles and bite through tough things with regenerating teeth. His skin was a tough armor and his amphibious abilities allowed him to prosper underwater. Mako's criminal background brought him into conflict with Super Patriot, the Savage Dragon and other heroes. Despite a brief time of tranquility while bonding with Dart, a tragedy struck and Dart was killed. This incident reignited Mako's violent and vengeful need to avenge. His quest for vengeance against the Savage Dragon continues, fueled by Dart's unintentional death during an encounter. Mako's face and story create a unique, admirable trait, as well as his need for vengeance against Dragon, making him part of our list. Mr. Glum. Mr. Glum, as we've heard previously, was a veteran tyrant from Dimension X with a knack for being a superb gadgeteer and scientist. Imagine a dwarf-like alien with red skin strutting around in shorts and occasionally flashing a toothy grin that can give you the creeps. That's Mr. Glum for you. Glum's got brains and brawn. He can handle exotic alien weaponry like a pro, and when he's not busy scheming for world domination, he's playing the role of a friendly toy. He's so sneaky that he's convinced people he's just a cute little plaything. Originally from the Void or Dimension X, Glum had a mission: to prove he's all-powerful by taking down Earth's hero, the Savage Dragon. His first encounter was with Angel Dragon, Dragon's daughter, who mistook him for a doll and treated him like one. However, behind the scenes, Glum plotted Dragon's demise. He even became a full-blown dictator using the God Gun, a relic granting wishes which caused chaos, turning Angel into a giant wrecking ball under Glum's control. The dragon came back swinging, thanks to a loophole in Glum's wish, a battle involving extra-dimensional characters and a dimension-hopping dragon. Ultimately, the God Gun bit the dust and Glum scurried back to Dimension X, leaving a mess behind. Now, Glum's got personality quirks. He's not your friendly neighborhood alien, no. He insults everyone he talks to except Angel Dragon, and he does it just for kicks. He's a nasty piece of work, power-hungry and ruthless, but here's the kicker: he genuinely cares about Angel. Glum also has a thesaurus of insults: feeble-brained, simpleton, mutton-headed, baboon, you name it, he said it. He even tries to intimidate people just for the fun of being nasty. Glum's not just a doll-sized nuisance, he's a mastermind with a penchant for chaos. The Chained Man. The Chained Man earns a spot on our list purely for his cool factor, the chains that make him stand out. When he graced the cover of Savage Dragon number 245, fans immediately got hooked on his look, marking him as a potential favourite villain. His story is rather simple, revealing a tortured soul who wants to take revenge against the three guys who ended his life. He appears, kills the three people and disappears. However, what makes it interesting is that during this third killing, Savage Dragon knows of his move and is there to stop him. When the third guy takes Gabrielle, Chained Man's lover, hostage, Dragon helps the Chained Man by shooting him. Post this, Chained Man disappears into the abyss. It's a bummer that the Chained Man's coolness didn't secure a lasting spot in the Savage Dragon universe. In an interview with the Savage Fincast podcast, Eric Larson split the chains. Drawing them was such a pain that he had to wave goodbye to the Chained Man as a recurring character. Solar Man. Solar Man, a trouble-inviting alien, made his debut on Earth in 1938 with a twist. He kicked off his superhero career by kidnapping other heroes and locking them up in his citadel of seclusion. This fortress drained the life force of imprisoned heroes, providing Solar Man with the energy he needed to become unstoppable. In the 70s, Solar Man's frustration with how criminals were treated led him to a drastic solution: killing them all. His killing spree faced a setback when he targeted Sergeant Marvel's love interest, resulting in Sergeant Marvel using the reality warping God Gun to erase Solar Man from existence. Fast forward to 2009 and Savage Dragon inadvertently revived Solar Man by destroying the God Gun during a confrontation with Mr. Glum. Solar Man wasted no time resuming his ruthless killing spree, starting with taking down Universo and Mother Mayhem. However, things turned when he set his sights on Spawn, prompting a team of heroes, Witchblade, Invincible, Shadowhawk and Savage Dragon, to intervene. Despite the heroes' efforts, Solar Man quickly overpowered them, admitting he held back because in his mind they were his fellow heroes. Victory seemed imminent for Solar Man until Rex Dexter freed the heroes Solar Man had captured, weakening him. Declaring his intent to end them all, Solar Man was unexpectedly dealt a knockout punch from Savage Dragon, resulting in his beheading. During his superhero stint, Solar Man captured A-list heroes from the Golden Age, utilizing their powers to enhance his own. The list goes on. Captain Freedom, Wonder Man, Thor the Mighty, Black Terror, Silver Streak, Daredevil, Major Victory. Marvelous verdict. Coming on down to the marvelous verdict. For every hero, we need a villain who matches his extraordinary power so much that the villain should look unbeatable. Savage Dragon captures us by giving us iconic villains that not only challenge Dragon, but also make us question morality by a morally ambiguous stand. And with that, folks, we say goodbye for now. See you soon and stay safe.